This morning, citizens and politicians are looking for ways to prevent a mass shooting from happening again in the aftermath of a series of events over the weekend.
Madison police are hoping to combine their forces for good with residents hoping to cut down on crime. We'll tell you about a special event tonight.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us on this Tuesday, August 6th. Kind of a rough night for parts of the viewing area. It was pretty loud last night.
A little bit.
Yeah, lost out on a little bit of sleep with all of that lightning and thunder and the heavy rain. We'll run down some rain totals coming up in Maine weather, but what you need to know right now is that the rain has come to an end. Skies are still cloudy, though, across southern Wisconsin. The clouds are going to be a little bit slower to clear. Here's a live look from the Edgewater Sky Cam. No sun in that shot this morning. Weather track showing you that the back edge of the cloud is working its way through central Wisconsin as we speak. So expect those clouds to clear from west to east today. Temperatures, though, are still mild. 67 here in Madison, 66 in the Dells, 66 this morning in Platteville. We're headed to highs in the low 80s today. This time winds will be from the north, so not quite as warm as it was yesterday, but still probably feeling a bit on the humid side. A look at your first alert traffic maps now. We'll show you what's happening on the roads here in and around Madison. Just a few slowdowns starting to show up at the Beltline and Stoughton Road, but otherwise no major delays right now. No other accidents to report in and around Dane County.
Another quiet start. I know the roads were a little wet when I came in this morning. We got quite a bit of rain, so.
We did, over an inch in some spots.
Wow. All right, Hattie, we'll see you in just a little bit. Thank you.
News just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center this morning. Madison police are looking for suspects after a homeowner woke up overnight to someone inside their house rifling through their things. Officers say it happened just after 1 in the morning. The residents woke up to sounds of someone inside their home. When they yelled, "We're calling police," the suspects ran off. They did take some items, but no one was hurt. There is a chance for you to talk to your local first responder about any safety concerns you have in your own neighborhood.
It's all part of National Night Out, and our Keely Arthur joins us live on the north side to preview it for us. Good morning, Keely.
Good morning, Josh and Leah. Yes, National Night Out is essentially a block party hosted by the Madison police. They're trying to get residents, other first responders to come together and talk about ways to cut down on crime. And I have here with me Captain Brian Ackert. We're at the North District. And Captain, we were just talking about the story we heard before our story about that home invasion. You said that is not a rare occurrence.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are burglaries and thefts from autos on a fairly regular basis. That tonight's event, we're trying to build some community police partnerships, some neighborhood camaraderie out at Warner Park for National Night Out. We've been doing this 35 years. Yeah. We're just one of thousands of communities across the nation that have National Night Out.
And you said, I mean, crime specific to Madison, those car thefts, those residential burglaries, there are easy ways to help cut down on that. Maybe explain that a little.
Yeah, one of the things we'll have tonight at National Night Out is our Good Neighbor Project with some tips on connecting with your neighbors and some very simple crime prevention tips. Right now, it seems the most important thing is keep your garage door closed at all times. Yeah. Lock your house, lock your cars, don't leave anything of value in your car that's visible, including your garage door opener. But they seem to be targeting driving around looking for garages that are open and then entering the houses through the attached garage. So that's one fairly simple tip. And then the Good Neighbor Project is watch out for your neighbors. We all get forgetful and sometimes leave our garage doors open. A quick text or a phone call to remind somebody to shut their door would really be of help.
And what better way to kind of get to know your neighbors than to, like you said, share some ice cream, maybe explain some of the fun events that are happening.
Yeah, we've partnered this year again with the Mallards that have an event out at Warner Park. Some baseball. We'll have the police department, the fire department, paramedics, Madison Park Rangers, and then we'll have our horses, our canine. Most of our specialty units will be out there. You can talk to your neighbors, you can talk to police officers and first responders and just start building some relationships.
Lots of fun, exciting things. Thank you so much for speaking with us this morning. That event, as you just heard the captain say, is at Warner Park. It's happening from 5:30 till 8 p.m. tonight. You should go there and have some ice cream and talk with some police officers.
All right, Keely Arthur live on Madison's North Side this morning. Keely, thank you.
The Janesville Police Department and Rock County Sheriff's Office will also be hosting a National Night Out this evening. It's happening outside the Janesville Police Department at 5 tonight. It includes live music, a SWAT demonstration, and of course, some free food, maybe some ice cream there as well. The event runs until 8.
Time right now is 6:05. In the wake of the mass shootings over the weekend, an anti-hate movement in Madison is pushing for solutions this morning. Masood Akhtar founded the nonprofit We Are Many United Against Hate. 3 years ago, that was. He says now is the time to push for change, especially with more than 1,000 hate groups operating nationally. In Wisconsin alone, there are more than a dozen.
People are not born with hate. People are taught to hate. If they can be taught to hate, it's easy to teach them how to love.
Akhtar says engagement is key, addressing economic disparities and teaching people about inclusivity. He's also would like to see a bipartisan resolution strongly condemning hate of all kinds. He urges people to get involved by making phone calls to elected officials.
Governor Evers is calling on the Republican-controlled state legislature to take action as well. He's looking for a universal background check bill and a so-called red flag law, which would make it easier to take guns away from people believed to be a danger to themselves or to others. It's something Attorney General Josh Kaul called for on Inauguration Day. He tells News 3 Now preventing gun violence should be bipartisan, and supporting a red flag law is a rare issue where he agrees with President Trump.
I think we all agree that if there's a law enacted, we should make sure that there are safeguards in place so that nobody's constitutional rights are affected.
Instead of a red flag law, the head of the group Wisconsin Carry says the best way to prevent mass shootings would be for more people to learn how to protect themselves if they encounter a shooter.
The day that we assign some mental health police to decide who can and can't own a gun, we might as well walk over to the Smithsonian, pull out the Constitution and drop it in the shredder.
Action is also taking place on a community level. Wisconsin groups are advocating for tighter restrictions in light of the massacres. Wisconsin Anti-Violence Effort and Moms Demand Action are just two groups advocating for tighter gun laws and promoting education. They see an influx in participation after mass shootings, but they say more they need to see that support all of the time. WAVE's president says he sees this changing with younger people.
They understand this epidemic in a very different way than adults do. So it's the young people and the involvement in young people that is going to increase effective pressure.
The Madison chapters of both WAVE and Moms Demand Action are holding meetings this month, and we have information about those on channel3000.com.
Around the state this morning in Green Lake County, a man is dead after a farming accident in the town of Brooklyn. Deputies say a tractor rolled over and pinned the man underneath it. His name has not yet been released. He's only identified as a 61-year-old from Green Lake. An update now on a story lots of you have been talking about online. The man arrested for a fatal drunk driving crash in Rock County Sunday night had been arrested for drunk driving before. Not once or even twice, but 3 times. A lot of our viewers took to social media to ask why it was still legal for him to be on the road. Captain Jude Morer says even though Daniel Good had those 3 previous charges, it's likely they were long enough ago that he could legally be back out on the road.
If somebody commits an OWI, and the time that they are given for revocation or suspension of their driving privileges, if he or she doesn't do anything within that time frame in terms of offending for driving, they're eligible for reinstatement.
Captain Morer says any change to the laws would have to start at the top and would take changing Wisconsin's reputation as a whole. He says the best thing you can do if you're upset is to call your local legislator and ask for a change.
6:08 is your time right now. A couple in Columbus is lucky they're alive this morning. A man who police say was likely driving under the influence crashed into their side of their home over the weekend. The car drove off of the curb, hit a tree before launching off the small hill, hitting another tree, landing in the Schick's bedroom. Luckily, the couple inside the home only had 1 minor injury. Cars have crashed into their home before, but they're hoping that this time the state does something about it.
I work a lot, but when I'm around here, I don't want to be looking over my shoulder, especially when I'm mowing lawn there. So you never know, just boom. I could be mowing lawn one day and some guy's going too fast, takes me out.
Now, the owner of the home says he asked the state to put a guardrail in, but they said no. We reached out to the Department of Transportation, but they weren't able to get back to us for comment. The driver was arrested and awaits charges.
2 Columbia County car dealerships are without their dealer licenses this morning. The State Department of Transportation revoked the credentials from Best Motors and Manhattan Motors after a DOT investigation found they both sold cars with mileage discrepancies to customers. Both are located on Skyline Drive over in Arlington.
A restaurant in Janesville is closed this morning, leaving dozens of people without a job. The Perkins on Milton Avenue suddenly announced the closure by putting a sign on the door of the restaurant yesterday. This comes after Perkins' parent company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Janesville's economic director, Gail Price, says the city was given no warning this would happen. He thinks anywhere from 50 to 80 people are out of their jobs.
A Golden Corral buffet and grill will open in Janesville by the end of the year. It's taking over the former Quaker Steak and Lube building on Wellington Place. That restaurant closed back in June after slow sales, a problem the former owner had blamed on area road construction. An official opening date has not yet been announced. All right, 6:10 your time now on this Tuesday. Coming up in our trending segment, we are talking about a prison break gone wrong that involves some serious dramatics. If you haven't seen this video yet, you're about to. It's coming up after the break.
Plus, after some severe weather for parts of Wisconsin overnight, Hattie has details on a fresh start today. You're watching News 3 Now this morning. We thank you for that, and we'll be right back.
Good morning from the News 3 Now First Alert Weather Center. We're talking rain totals from last night. Some pretty heavy rain. Maybe you heard it. Over 2 inches in some spots where you see those purple shaded colors scattered across southern Wisconsin. Officially at the airport in Madison, 1.2 inches. And we've had pretty dry weather, so that was a decent amount of rain. Most areas picking up at least an inch. Now the rain is already moving out of the area. No rain left in southern Wisconsin. As we zoom the map out, you can see just how quiet it is. These showers continue to diminish as they track east. Not a whole lot developing off to the north and west just yet. So we have a pretty quiet forecast headed for our area today. It's still going to feel a little humid though. Take a live look outside. We definitely have cloudy skies this morning. Plenty of moisture in the atmosphere early today. Clouds will clear. Where the skies are already clearing, that's where we see some fog developing across central and northern Wisconsin. Black River Falls, visibility at 0, down to 3-mile visibility in Viroqua. Also some fog through northeastern Iowa. For the rest of southern Wisconsin, though, things looking pretty quiet right now. No major issues with fog. Temperature is 67 here in Madison, 66 in Mineral Point, 66 in the Dells, 65 in Watertown. Temps have not moved much over the last couple of hours. We'll start to climb as the sun makes its way into the area a little bit later on this afternoon. Dew points, though, aren't going to go too far today, generally staying in the low to mid 60s. So again, feeling a bit on the humid side. Here's a look at your future track forecast model. Has a good handle on the rain moving out of the area today and the clouds lingering this morning. But as we put this map into motion, watch what happens as we go through the morning hours. Those clouds really clear by lunchtime. Temperatures will be well into the 70s with a light northerly wind. As we look at the rest of the afternoon, high should be in the low 80s, mostly sunny skies expected. Pretty comfortable this evening with temperatures dropping through the 70s as you head towards 10 o'clock. Mainly a dry forecast for us today. Here's a look at that extended forecast, though. We do have chances for rain back into the area on Wednesday, mainly in the afternoon and evening as another cold front moves through the area. This front is going to drop temperatures a bit. We're back to highs in the upper 70s with sunshine and lower humidity for Thursday and Friday. Now let's get a look at those first alert traffic maps. We're sending over to Josh Tim for all the details this morning. Good morning, Josh.
Yeah, it is a quiet start on the Beltline so far for the early commuters. Really nothing to slow you down yet in either direction at this point. As we check out some other roads here in Dane County, just plan on the usual brake lights starting to show up on Verona Road approaching the Highway PD intersection and on Stoughton Road near the Beltline ramps. No delays showing up downtown around the Capitol and on campus. Volume shouldn't be an issue at least for another half hour or so. And other main routes heading into Madison, they're cruising at the posted speeds. With your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you very much, Josh, and thank you, Hattie. 6:17 now. An attempted prison break in Brazil seems like something out of Hollywood.
Yeah, check this out. An incarcerated drug lord disguised himself as his 19-year-old daughter. The inmate gave himself away by asking for his daughter's ID back while leaving the prison. Reuters reports his voice was a giveaway.
That is sort of a creepy video. I first saw this yesterday and it scared me.
That's crazy, and like it kind of looks real.
People will do anything.
Just do anything, say anything. Yeah, it's a crazy world out there. 6:17 is your time right now. The Texans are practicing with the Packers this week, and Pewaukee native J.J. Watt wanted to take part in a preseason practice ritual. We're going to show you why things didn't go quite as planned, and the reaction sure to last a lifetime for one Wisconsin kid.
Our favorite story of the morning, folks. And Hattie has a pretty quiet day in store after our storms overnight. She's tracking more raindrops later in the week, though. That's when News 3 Now This Morning returns.
Welcome back at 6:21 on a Tuesday morning. Barrett, enjoying the pool. I'm sure there's probably a little bit more water in that pool after the storms last night.
Yeah, pool got filled up a little bit. Over an inch of rain here in Madison.
Wow.
I know I heard it. Seemed like it was pouring forever. Lots of lightning and thunder, but no major damage reports with the storms last night. And they have come to an end. Just a few reports of wind gusts north of Madison and then in the southwestern corner of the state. But for us, we have just cloudy skies this morning. Temperatures are starting in the 60s, 65 in Watertown, 66 in Monroe and Platteville, still holding steady at 67 here in Madison. If you have a tea time set up for today, don't worry about the weather. The rain has already come to an end. Clouds lingering this morning, but we will see some clearing for the afternoon. Some more sunshine for the second part of the day. Take a look at these temperatures. Headed to highs in the low 80s this afternoon. Still feeling a little bit on the humid side. If you are heading out to golf later on in the week, should feel much more comfortable Thursday and Friday. Highs in the upper 70s with lower humidity. Have a wonderful day.
Hattie, thank you so much. The Brewers have another starting pitcher on the injured list this morning. This time it's Zach Davies with back spasms. He's the fourth starter on the IL. In Pittsburgh last night, the crew took a step to get back on track against the Pirates. Yelich hit 2 home runs, one in the first, one in the ninth. The final score, Brewers 9, Pirates 7.
The Packers are excited to practice against someone other than themselves today. Today is the second day playing with the Houston Texans, including Pewaukee native J.J. Watt. There are quite a few NFL teams doing these joint practices just to get a different look as the start of the preseason gets closer.
You know, their guys are a little grabby, so you know, just to learn how to, you know, fight through that. And you know, this joint practice today and tomorrow, I mean, I think it's good for us, you know, especially our young guys, you know, seeing how it's going to be, you know, when you're going up against a guy you don't know.
The Packers are just practicing with the Texans today. They'll play each other in the first preseason game Thursday night at 7 p.m. at Lambeau Field. And Pewaukee native J.J. Watt living out his childhood dream playing at Lambeau for those practices.
And of course, he's wanted to ride one of the kids' bikes from the locker room to the practice field. Good news is he did, but the bad news?
He's so strong that he broke the seat off. Now it feels weird when you ride it.
I love that. 5-year-old Barrage Siju, along with his older brother and mother, decided to spend their Monday morning bringing their bikes to the practice. The day quickly turned into a memorable experience once Watt picked Barrage's bike to ride to practice and took an unexpected turn. When Watt accidentally broke the small bike's seat,
Aww.
Yeah, he obviously felt bad about the whole situation.
The bike that I was using was not equipped for a 290-pound man, and the seat broke off. We have purchased a new bike for the boy, so I apologize for that. But I mean, it's cool. It's one of the coolest traditions, you know. Growing up here, I know how special it is to get to interact with a player from the Green Bay Packers as a kid growing up in Wisconsin. So for them to have that tradition where kids get to be up close and personal with their favorite players and they get to hold their helmet, I mean, that's what it's all about. Those are the memories that those kids are going to have for a lifetime.
Now, Watt picked up the bike and carried it the rest of the way, and while the bike might not be usable, Barrage seems pretty pleased with his interaction with the NFL superstar. He spent the rest of the day drawing a picture of himself with Watt and writing a letter to his new best friend.
JJ Watt, it was so fun with you riding my bike.
What a good sport.
I love that so much.
So here's my question. How does this not happen more often? J.J. Watt cannot be the heaviest NFL football player, Packer player, to ride a
290 pounds, yeah, that's pretty light for a football.
Oh, brother.
But what a kid reaction, though. Like, it just felt weird riding the bike. Like, I mean, that's just the cutest thing ever.
If that does not make your Tuesday morning, folks, nothing is going to.
We need more stories like that, for sure.
Love it.
All right. Well, your top 3 things are straight ahead on News 3 Now this morning, including the latest on talks for gun reform in the wake of 2 mass shootings over this past weekend.
And we're going to check back in with our Keely Arthur to hear how local police officers hope to better connect with their neighbors for the National Night Out. That's next on News 3 Now this morning. Thanks for watching.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, folks, and thanks for joining us on your Tuesday morning. Hattie has a relatively quiet day in store after some storms overnight, right, Hads?
Yeah, we're still dealing with some clouds. The rain has ended. Good news, sunshine for the afternoon.
All right, we'll get to your forecast here in just a moment, Hattie, but first let's get to the top 3 things that you need to know this morning. Grieving families are planning funerals in 2 U.S. cities targeted by gun violence over the weekend, El Paso, Texas, and Dayton, Ohio. At least 31 people were killed in those 2 events. President Trump is expected to visit El Paso tomorrow. He has condemned hate-fueled violence and stressed combating mental illness, but hasn't called for stricter gun laws.
The second story we're following this morning, back here in Madison, Governor Evers is looking to Republican lawmakers to pass a universal background check bill and a so-called red flag law, which would make it easier to take guns away from people believed to be a danger to themselves or to others. That red flag law is something Attorney General Josh Kaul had called for on Inauguration Day. Kaul tells News 3 Now preventing gun violence should be bipartisan, and supporting a red flag law is a rare issue where he agrees with President Trump.
And rounding out the top 3 this morning, today marks the 74th anniversary of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima. The U.S. attack killed 140,000 people. Hiroshima's mayor used the occasion to renew calls for eliminating atomic weapons worldwide.
Those are the 3 things you should know to start your Tuesday. Hattie is keeping an eye on the weather and the traffic. Hi, Hattie.
Good morning, Leah and Josh. Well, you don't need the sunglasses on the way to work this morning. Skies are cloudy. Even though the rain has come to an end, we're left with clouds early this morning. 66 in Janesville, 67 in Madison. In the Dells, it's 65, so not a huge variation in temperatures across the region. As you head out the door, don't forget to take the sunglasses, though, because you'll need them on the way home. Temperatures will climb into the low 80s as skies clear today. Here's a look at your traffic maps. News 3 Now First Alert Traffic showing you where we have some delays. Looks like there may be a stalled vehicle on Stoughton Road or Highway 30, right on Stoughton Road southbound side at Highway 30. No delays there, though, right now. No other delays on the Beltline either. Here's a look at your drive times as you head into Madison. Looks like you're still going at posted speeds. And that's your First Alert Traffic.
Thank you very much, Hattie. Just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center, Madison police are looking for suspects after a homeowner woke up overnight to someone inside their house rifling through their things. Officers say it happened just after 1 in the morning along Junction Road on the city's west side. The residents woke up to sounds of someone inside their home. When they yelled, "We're calling police," the suspects ran off. They did get away with some items, but no one was hurt. There is a chance for you to talk up to your local first responder about any safety concerns you might have in your own neighborhood.
It's all part of National Night Out, and our Keely Arthur joins us live to talk more about it. Keely, good morning to you.
Good morning, Josh and Leah. Yes, I am at the North District for the Madison Police Department, and Madison Police here and at all the other districts say that residential burglary you heard about and the other issues that we are seeing like car thefts are actually really easy to crack down, and they're trying to drive that point home tonight with their event called National Night Out. Now that event is taking place at Warner Park in the evening. It's a chance for Madison police and residents to get together and forge relationships between police officers, local residents, and also amongst neighbors. They say if everyone is able to look out for each other a little bit more, they can help cut down on these crimes of opportunity. For example, they want you to create a garage buddy, and if you see that your garage is open or your neighbor's garage is open, just shoot them a text and let them know what's going on. They say those little things can really help lower crime rates in our area. Now, this event isn't just to talk about crime, it's also a fun way for everyone to get to hang out. There's going to be free ice cream. There's also going to be the K-9 unit as well as the mounted patrol. So lots of opportunities for everyone to get together and get to know one another. Again, that event is happening at Warner Park tonight from 5:30 p.m. until 8 p.m.
Keely Arthur live for us on Madison's North Side. Keely, thank you.
So the Janesville Police Department and the Rock County Sheriff's Office will also be hosting a National Night Out event this evening. That's happening outside the Janesville Police Department at 5 tonight. It's going to include live music, a SWAT demonstration, and free food. That event runs until 8 p.m.
When it comes to choosing a university, a new ranking is proving it doesn't get much better than going to UW-Madison. The UW is ranked as the 25th best university in the entire world. The university moved up from 27th in last year's Center for World University Rankings. UW-Madison placed 19th nationally and is ranked 28th for quality of education, up from 65th last year. The school beat the likes of Washington University in St. Louis, Dartmouth, Vanderbilt, and Brown, along with Big Ten rivals like Penn State, Rutgers, and Ohio State.
Wisconsin pretty high up on another list this morning that ranks the best states for health care. Wallet Hub has us at 16th. The list is based on things like average monthly insurance premium and hospital beds and physicians per capita. Our neighbor to the west, Minnesota, actually came in first. Alaska came in at the bottom of that list.
Wisconsin insurance rates are projected to drop 3.2%. Governor Tony Evers is crediting a reinsurance program adopted by Scott Walker for leading to lower health insurance rates in 2020. The program was approved in 2018 and took effect this year. Without it, rates on the private insurance marketplace were projected to increase by 9%. Rates went up by 44% in 2018 because there were fewer providers and declining enrollment. Evers says the rate drop is encouraging and shows the individual market is stabilizing and the reinsurance program is working as planned. 6:34 is your time right now, and coming up, we've got the story of a girl who's aiming to become one of the youngest female Olympians ever.
Pretty cool story, folks. And kids over at the Sun Prairie Boys and Girls Club are getting a pretty sweet surprise. Stay tuned to News 3 Now this morning. We're back after the break.
All right, welcome back. We've been asking you to share your morning with us, and Linda has a great, bright, positive picture for us.
Here's another reason to smile this morning, huh?
All about the sunflowers.
Oh my gosh, we love yellow, by the way, Linda. Thanks so much for sharing.
You can see the little yellow bird up there on the sunflower, too.
Oh, I missed that.
It's just all yellow.
It's that time of year.
It is that time. All right, thank you so much for sharing, Linda. If you've got a photo of your morning that you'd like to share with us, all you have to do is take a picture and post it to our Facebook page. That's Channel 3000. And use the hashtag MyNews3Morning.
Speaking of things that make us smile, the Boys and Girls Club of Sun Prairie is celebrating summer with a sweet treat. The Wisconsin Alumni Association and Findorf Construction brought free Babcock ice cream to the facility yesterday. Construction on that building is happening right now, and the organization wanted to thank everyone for their patience with the project. The Boys and Girls Club says they are thrilled to receive the support of this community.
The school districts, all the community leaders, just everybody. It's been a very collaborative effort to get this started, and we appreciate everything that everybody's doing.
Ice cream, sunflowers, two of our favorite things,
yes.
Right? There we go. This is the club's first location in Sun Prairie. Right now, they are operating out of Patrick Marsh Middle School and the Teen Center at the YMCA. I love that story.
I do too.
All right, now here's the story of a young athlete that you're probably going to want to keep an eye out for this time next year.
Skateboarding will make its debut at the 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo, and an 11-year-old girl has set her sights on taking part. Sky Brown is confident as she fearlessly attacks the bowl. The young, half-Japanese, half-British skater comes to Southern California from Japan just to skate.
Wow.
Yeah, Sky entered her first contest at the age of 7, and by 8, she became the youngest girl to compete as a pro in the Vans US Open. Now she's 11 and been added to the Great Britain's national team with the hope of competing in the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo.
Even if I fall or if I get hurt, that won't stop me to do what I love. I don't care what happens to me. I just want to skate.
I know, isn't that cute? Sky is not guaranteed a spot in the Olympics. She has to accumulate points at competitions over the next year, proving she is among the best. Surfing is another sport that will make its Olympic debut in Tokyo next year. Sky Brown is hoping to make a splash there as well.
Look at those skills.
My goodness.
Two-sport athlete there?
11 years old.
That is so impressive.
Incredible.
Can you skateboard?
I cannot skateboard. I can surf.
You can?
I can surf, but I can't skateboard.
Minnesota boy.
Well, I mean, we surf on a lake. It's not the ocean, but...
Okay, that's... duh.
Jeez.
It's early, folks.
Yes, it is.
All right, congrats to Sky. Some pretty big storms last night, but not a drop in the forecast for today. Hattie's here with a final look at her extended forecast. That's coming up next.
But first, it is Tuesday, August 6th, and we want to say happy birthday to Sophia and all the other kids turning 3 today. Thanks for watching and celebrating with us early right here on News 3 Now this morning.
look at that. Just a beautiful morning out in Platteville today. Even some clouds looking just stunning with that sunrise in the background.
A little peek of sunshine after those overnight storms, and we've got some beautiful weather on the way, too.
Yeah, Hattie's going to talk about a pretty humid Tuesday in store that's coming up in just a couple of minutes. Lobbyists are spending a little bit less in this budget season under a new Democratic governor. The State Journal reports lobbyists spent nearly $18 million to court lawmakers and agency officials. That's a total spending decrease of more than $1 million so far this year. However, many of the biggest lobbyists spent just about as much, if not more than, the first 6 months of the last budget cycles.
6:44 right now, and over to Miss Hattie McLean with a beautiful Tuesday forecast. Just a little humid out there, but at least we have that sunshine returning.
That's true. It's nice to see those clouds breaking up a little bit in Platteville this morning. Still pretty cloudy here in the Madison area, but Josh mentioned those storms last night. We did have some wind reports here in southern Wisconsin, but nothing like the hail reports. Look at all these blue circles. Those are hail damage and hail reports, a lot of them coming out of the Minneapolis area, especially on the west and north side of the city. Hail up to as large as 4 inches in diameter. That's about the size of a grapefruit. So imagine the damage that hail caused. Here in southern Wisconsin, for our viewing area, no hail damage reports, but there were some wind reports up around the Dells, also down towards Platteville. Some numerous reports of trees down in the northern part of Sauk County yesterday with 60-mile-an-hour winds, but a lot of rain for all of southern Wisconsin. Again, here's that wind damage report. Again, 60-mile-an-hour winds near Lake Delton, taking down some of those trees. Rain totals, though, adding up to over an inch for much of the area, but now the rain is already out of the region. We wait to dry conditions this morning, and as we zoom the map out quite a bit, we'll show you what's happening across the Midwest view, and not a whole lot to our north and west. Minneapolis and Minnesota, Iowa, all dry this morning, so mainly a dry forecast for us here across southern Wisconsin. Here's a look at weather track. One cold front moving through the area this morning. Behind this front, northerly winds, but still quite a bit of humidity. We'll watch this second front that's still up in Canada. That brings a chance for rain on Wednesday, and that will likely drop the humidity a little bit more for us. So for today, in between those two fronts, things stay dry. Skies will actually clear for the afternoon. Here's our next chance for rain, though, coming later in the day on Wednesday as that second cold front moves through the area. Behind that front, we'll turn much more comfortable. Again, northerly winds, plenty of sunshine, but much lower humidity. A live look again from the WISC-TV sky cam here in southern Wisconsin. We're looking at cloudy skies this morning. No sun just yet here in Madison. As far as fog is concerned, not a widespread issue here, but to the north and west, we are dealing with visibility near zero, where skies are already clearing. Temperatures early this morning are in the 60s. Nice mild start to the day. We're actually up 1 degree here in Madison to 68. It's 66 in Janesville and 66 in Watertown. Even in southwestern Wisconsin, temperatures are in the mid to upper 60s. Your future track forecast model, again, doing a pretty good job showing you how the rain has already left the area, but clouds linger back through southern Wisconsin. Good news, though, with those clouds, they will clear. Those northerly winds will scour out some of that moisture. We're looking at mostly sunny skies for the afternoon with temperatures climbing through the 70s back into the 80s. Looks like high temperatures will be in the low 80s for most of southern Wisconsin. Pretty comfortable this evening with mostly clear skies. Temperatures dropping back through the 70s as we head towards 10 p.m. Here's a look at your extended forecast. We have that chance for rain later in the day on Wednesday, but overall a pretty quiet forecast coming up heading through the rest of this week into the upcoming weekend. Very pleasant. I think you'll be able to open up the windows, give the AC a break by Thursday.
Oh.
Here's Julian in Madison.
The ears.
Oh, puppers.
Can I take him home?
Oh,
Looks
my
very
gosh,
cute.
Buddy. Julian.
It'll be a nice day to play outside today.
Especially with Julian. I'm jealous.
If he needs a babysitter, give us a call.
Seriously, that's so cute. I can't even.
Adorbs.
All right, Hattie, thank you.
You're welcome.
Stay with us. The Morning Sprint is up next on News 3 Now this morning. But first, here's a look at what's coming up on CBS this morning.
Good morning. Ahead, we are in El Paso, Texas and Dayton, Ohio, as communities struggle to make sense of the mass shootings that killed at least 31. Only on CBS this morning, Acting Homeland Security Secretary Kevin McAleenan reveals what is being done to prevent future attacks, plus how a years-long manhunt for a California millionaire accused of murdering his wife finally came to an end in Mexico. We'll see you at 7.
6:51, time for the morning sprint as our team gets you out the door with more local news this morning.
We begin with an update from this weekend's massacres. Grieving families are planning funerals in El Paso and Dayton. At least 31 people were killed in all in those cities. President Trump is expected to visit El Paso on Wednesday. He has condemned hate-fueled violence and stressed combating mental illness, but he has not called for stricter gun laws.
Governor Evers is looking to Republicans to pass a universal background check bill and a so-called red flag law, which makes it easier to take guns from people believed to be a threat. The red flag law is something Attorney General Josh Kaul called for on Inauguration Day. Now Kaul tells News 3 Now preventing gun violence should be bipartisan, and supporting a red flag law is a rare issue where he agrees with President Trump.
Wisconsin groups are advocating for tighter restrictions in light of those massacres as well. Wisconsin Anti-Violence Effort and Moms Demand Action are two of those organizations. Both Madison chapters are holding meetings this month. We have more information about those meetings over on channel3000.com.
And we're starting with already some clearing taking place in the Platteville area. You can see a few holes in the cloud cover there. Clouds will continue to work their way from west to east through the region today, setting us up for sunshine this afternoon. Temperatures will climb from the 60s back to highs in the low 80s later on today.
And Madison police are hoping to forge new relationships with local residents in an effort to cut down on crimes of opportunity like auto thefts and residential burglaries. They're driving that point home with an event tonight. It's called National Night Out. Now that is taking place at Warner Park between 5:30 and 8 p.m. In addition to meeting with local residents, they're also asking neighbors to get to know one another. They say easy things like keeping your car doors locked and your garage doors shut are ways that we can all cut down on crime in our area. But it isn't just meant to talk about crime. Also, lots of fun things happening at Warner Park for this event, including free ice cream, canines, and the Mounted Patrol will also be there. Back to you.
Keely, thank you. The Janesville Police Department and Rock County Sheriff's Office will also be hosting a National Night Out event tonight at 5. The night out will be held in front of the Janesville Police Department. It will include live music, a SWAT demonstration, and free food. That event lasts until 8 o'clock.
The man arrested for a fatal drunk driving crash in Rock County had been arrested for drunk driving 3 previous times. Police say even though Daniel Good had those 3 previous charges, it's likely they were long enough ago that he could legally be back out on the road.
A Wisconsin man is in jail this morning being held on a $1 million bond. 37-year-old Keith Comfort is charged with second-degree murder in the death of a Missouri woman who has been missing for 13 years. Police say Comfort walked into the Lake Geneva Police Department Sunday and asked to speak with an officer about his former wife, Megan Schultz, who had been missing since 2006.
In Green Lake County, a man is dead after a farming accident in the town of Brooklyn. Deputies say a tractor rolled over and pinned the man underneath. His name has not yet been released. He is only identified as a 61-year-old from Green Lake.
Today marks the 74th anniversary of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima. The U.S. attack killed 140,000 people. Hiroshima's mayor used the occasion to renew calls for eliminating atomic weapons worldwide.
When it comes to choosing a university, a new ranking is proving it doesn't get much better than UW-Madison. The UW is ranked as the 25th best university in the world. The university moved up from 27th in last year's Center for World University Rankings. UW placed 19th nationally and is ranked 28th for quality of education. That's up from 65th last year.
The Brewers have another starting pitcher on the injured list this morning. This time it's Zach Davies with back spasms. He's the 4th injured one on that list. Now the crew took a step back on the track against the Pirates last night. Yelich hit 2 home runs, 1 in the first, 1 the ninth. The final score, Brewers 9, Pirates 7.
The Packers are excited to practice against someone other than themselves. Today is the second day playing with the Houston Texans, including Pewaukee native J.J. Watt. They will play each other in the first preseason game Thursday night at 7 p.m. at Lambeau Field.
6:56 right now. Let's turn it over to Josh Tim with a final look at that first alert traffic.
Yeah, good morning, guys. It's already getting busy on the westbound side of the Beltline. Give yourself a few minutes extra between the Interstate and Monona Drive. Inbound side of John Nolan starting to pick up near Rimrock, and then again at Olin Avenue if you're heading into the downtown Madison area. A few brake lights showing up on Verona Road approaching the Highway PD intersection from the north end southbound. And other main routes heading into Madison, they're cruising at the usual speeds with no major issues. Your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thanks, Josh.
Kind of a great shot this morning from the Edgewater Sky Cam. Don't worry, we will have some sunshine though for the afternoon. Take a look at your day planner temperatures. Not a bad day at all. Starting in the 60s this morning, climbing to highs in the low 80s this afternoon. Still going to feel a little bit humid today. Here's a look at your extended forecast. Our next chance for rain comes later in the day on Wednesday into Wednesday night. Highs will still be in the 80s. Much more pleasant conditions working their way into the area for the end of the week, though. Highs in the upper 70s. Thursday and Friday with lots of sunshine. Josh and Leah, it looks like that dry weather will continue right into the upcoming weekend. We all know it's never too early to start thinking about the upcoming weekend, right?
Well, and I feel like we are pretty lucky. Usually this is the time of year where you can get the dog days of summer. So with that forecast, you really cannot complain.
That is true. We've had some pretty nice weekends, and it looks like that continues.
All right, good news, Hattie. Thank you so much.
And thanks so much for joining us this morning, folks. Get out there, enjoy that sun, stay cool, and we will see you back here tomorrow morning.